Fitter.
And I'm Laverne.
And welcome to Cooking Crave. Today we are cooking a couple dishes. We have a easy meatloaf recipe that is really tasty that was submitted by Nancy Eberts from South Hart. And we also are combining that with another submitted recipe from Nancy Wall here in Dickinson for an easy olive oil, tomato, and basil pasta. So here is Laverne to show us how to make these dishes.
Okay, we're going to go over to the oven here, and I'm going to put the oven on at 375 for our meatloaf. We want to get that going, so I'm going to just start the oven. And so that can be preheating while we're mixing up the meatloaf. We're going to start with 2 pounds of hamburger, and you want to start with a nice big dish because it's easier to mix, and you don't want to over mix a meatloaf. It gets really firm or tougher when you mix a meatloaf excessively. So what we're going to do is we got the 2 pounds of hamburger here. It asks for 2 egg whites, and it asks for 1/4 cup of ketchup, and any ketchup will do. And then it also asks for a cup of water. So we're going to just blend that a little bit here. And the easy ingredient is stovetop stuffing, chicken stovetop stuffing. That has all your seasonings in there, and you don't have to put any other seasoning in. But while this is setting here, just a moment, we're going to come over to the stove because we need to we're going to marinate our onions, and it asks that we saute them in 1/4 cup of zesty Italian dressing. And it asks for a large onion. So I had this onion chopped, and just a large onion, and you're going to saute that in there. We're going to put the heat down to a medium heat. So while we're mixing the stuffing in there just for a minute, and we're just going to saute the onions.
Now, do you use Italian dressing for marinating a lot of things other than like meats, like chicken, or for barbecuing? Have you used? I've heard people using that for marinades.
I like Italian dressing for marinating chicken. You marinate chicken, and when you put it in the summertime, put it on the grill, it's just really a good flavor. And then that chicken is really good cold, and you can use that in your summer salad.
Yes.
So
you can actually make more and have a lot of different meals from that then.
Yes, and this here just zesty Italian dressing just gives the onions really good zip, and it's just a wonderful flavor in this meatloaf.
Okay.
So other than the zesty Italian dressing that we're sauteing the onions in, and the stovetop stuffing, it doesn't ask for any other seasoning, no pepper or salt or whatever, because it's all
right in the ingredients already.
Yes.
Wonderful. That is a really easy recipe.
So it makes it very easy. So we'll just give that a moment here, and let's just come on over here and take out the dressing here. I already did cut this open here, so we're going to just pour that in.
And it's a smaller box, a stovetop. Is it a 6-ounce or an 8-ounce box?
Well, it is a 6-ounce.
Okay.
I think that's probably the only size it does come in.
Oh, okay.
In your stovetop, but I could be mistaken with that too. But
okay.
That's just your regular 6-ounce box there. See, and once you have the water in there, that's going to soak up the breadcrumbs and just blend very nicely here. So we're going to just go back to the stove here, and this here, it doesn't take very long. So basically just to saute them a little bit. Get there, I'll turn the oven off. And now we're going to add the onions into our meat mixture.
So this is all you have to do to prepare it before it goes in the pan to bake?
Yes, that's all it is.
This is something that is very simple. You could even prepare this and have it in the refrigerator, so if you get home at 5, it's something easy just to preheat your oven and pop it right in there.
That's right. And then, you know, for the ones that have your ovens that you can preset, you know, time and time bake and put it in, and if
you can even have it ready when you get home. That's
right. Come in and you can already smell that flavoring of that meatloaf.
So you're basically just going to mix this until it's blended. You don't want to over mix it like you were saying before, so it doesn't get tough.
Right. And you know, you're putting in, when you put the onions in and they're hot, and that it just makes that mixture blend easier.
Okay.
So that looks like it's pretty well mixed, and then all we have to do is we're going to shape it into a loaf, and we'll put it in the oven. You put it in the oven for 375 for about an hour.
Okay.
That's what it takes.
Now, is something like this with meatloaf, can you put it into some smaller pans to reduce the baking time? Like if you had some smaller loaf pans?
You know, you probably could. It's not going to make a lot of difference. You know, you put it in for that hour, and you want to make sure it's heated well through. To 160 degrees is what they recommend. So I would assume if you put it in a smaller pans, you would cut the baking time a little bit.
Okay.
Whatever. So.
But probably not too significant that
it would make a lot of difference.
Okay.
No. Okay. So I've got that blended well. I'm going to go get my pan over here. So I'm going to just...
And you don't have to grease the pan?
No. When because you always have a little fat from the hamburger. I did use 2 pounds of lean hamburger, so you're not going to get a lot of grease out of that at all.
Okay.
And then you just take that and you're going to shape it into a loaf.
And this does make a nice sized meatloaf. So if you have a nice sized family, this is a good meal. And then, you know, to have something alongside of it, like the salad we're going to make. Or this also is a good recipe if you have leftovers, to have a cold sandwich or to heat it up just as meatloaf again.
Yes, this meatloaf is excellent cold sandwiches. It is just one of the better ones that I've had for meatloaf that I really like.
Okay.
So we can add a little bit of sauce on top if you have a little bit of tomato sauce. But if you don't want to open up a can of tomato sauce, we're going to just add a little bit of ketchup on top, just for a little bit of color. Okay. And what I like to do, though, in my pan, I like to add just a little bit of water in here, just, you know, so when it's baking that the pan isn't going to be dry.
Okay.
And so that's our finished meatloaf product there. So I'm going to put the lid on, and we're going to pop it in the oven, and we're going to bake it for an hour.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing we're going to do is I have my kettle boiling, water boiling for my pasta salad.
Okay.
So it asks for 16 ounces of bowtie macaroni. And the water's boiling, and I do add a little bit of salt in the kettle too, so that you know, you get some seasoning in there. And it takes about 8 to 10 minutes for that to boil. Okay. So we're going to let that boil. Well, our pasta salad has boiled for about 10 minutes here, and it's soft, so what I'm going to take it off the burner, and we're going to strain that. So I do have a colander here in my sink, so I'm going to just pour that in there, and we want to drain that pasta well. So we'll just set it on top of that kettle there, and we'll just bring it over here, and we'll just set it on top of this cutting board. And we'll just shake it a little bit here, and that helps drain the liquids.
Now, is this something you don't have to rinse the pasta for a salad?
No, you're going to want it warm. You can make the pasta and mix it up when it is warm, and you can eat it warm, and it really brings out the flavor of some of the ingredients that we'll talk about. Or you can, of course, if you have leftovers, it'll be good cold also.
Okay.
And that. But when you're starting out, you can have that warm. So we're going to just put that in here. I'll just remove that. Get another spoon here. So, and start with a fairly, large bowl. The recipe calls for 2 to 3 Roma tomatoes, fresh basil leaves, and you will find the fresh basil leaves in your produce department at the local grocery store.
Okay.
Or that. And it comes in a package like this, and then I just chop that or whatever. And when it's warm, the warmth brings out the flavoring of that basil leaves and that and stuff. But it's still excellent when it's cooled down and you have it, for leftovers stored in the fridge. So
wonderful.
So the recipe calls for 2 cloves or 2 toes of garlic chopped. So we put that in there.
All right.
And it asks for the Roma tomatoes chopped, and if they're seedy, it asks for you to seed the tomato, because that will make the salad water, more waterier.
Right.
In that. So, and now it asks for half a cup of olive oil.
And we had a viewer that watched a previous episode of a salad that we had made. It was our easy lettuce salad that we had used a canola oil in, and I was, of course, inquiring if any oil would do, and like an olive oil. And we had a viewer call in and say that in a salad dressing, olive oil is not good because it sets up.
Right.
When you put it in your fridge, it becomes more of a solid. So that is something that we want our viewers to know, that if you're making a hot salad or a pasta salad, olive oil will work. But if you're making a lettuce salad and you're using it as a dressing, please just stick with the regular vegetable oil or canola oil.
And the olive oil it does have a little bit of different flavoring. And if you use the dressing right away and you don't store it in the fridge, you would be okay. But once it's stored in the fridge, it sets and it gets solid, so it's not going to work as a dressing. So we really do thank our viewer for, giving us that tidbit about that oil. So
I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. And then we're going to add it asks for a half cup of fresh basil leaves, and this package made about a half a cup.
Okay.
So you chop that and you just mix it, and that's all you do. It's very, very easy. And then you're going to add a little bit of pepper and salt to taste. Being I do add the salt in the water when I'm cooking the noodles, I don't add quite as much salt. But I would estimate about a half a teaspoon of salt will do well.
Okay.
And then we're going to do about a half a teaspoon of pepper. And again, it's a matter of taste. If you like more salt, more pepper, or less, that's just, what you want to make.
Well, it's easy enough once it's made and you have a portion on your plate to add as well, instead of adding to the entire dish and having it over seasoned.
Right. So we just blend that. And being the pasta's, warm, it really blends well. You get all your seasoning and the basil leaves, the flavor from it, and the salt and pepper mixes well. And that's all you have to do. And there we have a nice pasta salad that will be a great dish. We'll use it for a side dish with the meatloaf, but you can use it with anything. And I think it'd be a great summer salad, you know, if you're barbecuing and, you know, have those hamburgers or steak or chicken breasts. Okay, the timer went off for our meatloaf, so now we need to take that out of the oven.
It has a delicious smell to it.
Okay. So we'll just bring it on over here and take off the lid there. And you can just see how that meatloaf looks. And a lot of times it's good just to leave it set for a short time, you know, maybe about 5-10 minutes before you take it out. But we're going to see if we can't manage to take this out without having it fall apart on us. So Rhonda, I'm going to have you take that one there, excuse me here, and we'll just bring it over here. There. Hey, good job there, Rhonda. Oh, that's
I could
a
do
little hot.
something right in the kitchen.
Still a little bit hot, so need to use my trusty mitts and that. So here we go, and you can just see that steaming and just how, you know, that aroma is just really good.
Definitely, you can smell the herbs. That must be the stuffing mix and is in there, because it does really have a wonderful smell.
Okay, and I'm going to just get myself a knife here to cut. And we'll just cut off a piece here and show you what that's going to be like. And when it sets for you know, about 5 minutes or 10, it's going to be less likely to fall apart. So we're going to just put that on there. How hungry are you? You want 2 pieces?
I will start with 1 today, though.
Okay. Well, just put another small piece on there. There, and then we're going to add our pasta salad there.
And this is the finished product of our easy meatloaf recipe, again submitted by Nancy Ebert of South Hart, and the easy pasta salad, again submitted by Nancy Wall here in Dickinson. Thank you so much, Laverne, for preparing these dishes. They smell wonderful, and I'm sure they're going to taste just as wonderful. And please go to our website at Consolidated, www.ctctel.com, to see the recipes and how to prepare them, and also to submit your favorite recipes so we can prepare them for you. And again, thank you for joining us on Cook and Crave. Have a great day.
Okay, see you next time.